All right, guys, we are back with the Gulf Coast Growth Show virtual edition, and I'm here with Lewis Macon from Pinnacle ART today. Lewis, thank you for joining us. Again, really the call to action right now for the Economic Alliance and a lot of the supporting organizations is to try to bring value and significant value to our stakeholders, to the organization, to the region. We know that we're being disrupted. We know that this environment is rather unique. And so we wanted to bring some folks on the show that could really talk about some of the action that's being taken to really support not only the refineries, but the organizations that are servicing them. And really this is, I think at the topic of our conversation today, could be spread across any business model, really, if you think about it, right? For anybody trying to service. And so today's topic is going to be centered around the cost-cutting measures that a lot of people are taking, some of the action that's being done by Pinnacle ART to deliver a great service to not only the stakeholders of the Economic Alliance, but anybody that wants to tune in. So we're going to quickly hit a few key talking points today with Lewis. Make sure you guys understand how to gain access to those webinars and events that they're going to be putting on and better understand the value in them. So again, Lewis, for those that don't know or not familiar with Pinnacle ART, maybe you can give us a high-level overview, the organization, who you serve, what you guys do, where you specialize, and then we'll dive into the topic of the show.
Yep, sounds good. I appreciate the time, Jason. As you mentioned, my name's Lewis Macon. I'm the Director of Client Solutions at Pinnacle ART. Pinnacle ART really is a reliability company, really focused in the processing, heavy, complex processing industries. So facilities like refineries, chemical plants, I would say probably make up about 70 to 80% of our core business focus. And we're also supporting, in addition to that, wastewater treatment plants, energy facilities, power generation, everything all the way to manufacturing as well. So really looking at the entire value chain, right, from a manufacturing standpoint. And really what we're all about, right, is we want to help customers, help our partners kind of understand, analyze all of the different data points that they have going on in their facilities, right? So we're talking about process data, we're talking about mechanical integrity data, reliability data, maintenance data. There's a ton out there, right, that these facilities are generating. And so our mission, right, our value, if you will, is we help our customers gather that data, we organize that data, and we put that data into the right systems, and then use those systems to analyze that data to help our customers essentially become more reliable and ultimately more profitable and a safer organization.
So for lack of a better term, you take the process and the data and then structure it in a way that's going to help them ultimately impact the bottom line, serve better, provide a better product, ultimately improve your process improvement, for lack of, if you were to really summarize that, does that kind of
I
capture it all in one thing? If you said, hey, you're doing this good and you can be doing this good based on what we found, correct? So
that's right.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I love it. That's for all those laymen out there like me who picked up on a little bit of what he said. He says we take you from point A to point B, and it's higher and it's better. So, and I think that's really great, because when you take process professionals and then you tee them up and they shift gears, and now we've had to pivot in business, right? 6 months ago, everybody was in the process of growth. Right now, we're in the process of, holy cow, how do we survive? And so I think you guys have done a wonderful thing and taking those same processes and delivering them down into what we would consider cost cutting or savings and efficiency measures to help weather the storm. So why don't you tell us a little bit about really some of the things that you see? So first of all, why don't we dive into the hiccups that a lot of people make? So maybe the mistakes or things. So when it comes to cutting costs, what are some of the things that you see or some of the mistakes that are made?
Yeah, Jason, I think, the scariest part of the environments we're in today, right, is this pressure to reduce costs, right? I mean, as soon as that market went down, everybody's looking at, everybody around them saying, okay, like what expenses we had, we got to cut those in half, even more than that at some points, right? And so the concern and really intent about what we're trying to get out there in the market, the message is, look, there's a right way about going around cutting costs. And the wrong way of doing that is just saying, hey, I'm going to take this sledgehammer, right, and I'm just going to come through and cut 20%, 50% off the top across everything. That's where we see a lot of facilities get themselves into trouble because they're going to run into compliance or safety issues, right? And so the intent, right, the core of the the cost series is really giving a company the ability to strategically make the right decision. Okay. And so they're able to understand, okay, what's adding value to me today? What's not adding value to me today? And then pushing the things that aren't adding value. Doesn't mean they won't add value in the future, but pushing them out to a later time. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. I think from a holistic standpoint, right, everybody's trying to cut where they can. And so our intent is to help them do that effectively.
Fantastic. And I think to your point, there's a knee-jerk reaction. I've experienced it in corporate America. I've watched it happen recently in conversation with even my clients and even my peers. And I think there's this, holy cow, what do we do? And then you just turn the gas off, and turning the gas off or disrupting it can be, and without strategy, can ultimately lead to even a slower ramp up time. And I think we're all anxious to get back to work and get the economy flowing and get things going. So, I think there's definitely a process by which you want to do that. So tell us a little bit about some of the best practices, some of the things that people could expect. So if I'm an operator and I want to know why I want to take and carve out time to join you guys over the next few weeks during your cost saving series, tell me about why I would want to attend.
Yeah. So I think, you talk about that sledgehammer approach, right? And, I think the focus of what we're trying to get at is don't make a decision, don't make a change just because everybody else is making a change, right? What change somebody else is making may be right for them. It doesn't mean it's the same you should be doing, right? And we see that a lot in industry. It's, oh my God, facility down the road just laid off 1,000 people. Like, I need to lay off 1,000 people, And so we're trying to prevent those types of things from happening. And really the number one thing we need to start doing is making decisions based on data, right? And so understanding your facility's data, understanding, your situation. And so the first thing we do, okay, in our recommendation, our strategy session, right, is understanding your entire work process, digitizing that work process, understanding what data you're getting out of that work process, and can you actually speed up or validate, is it the right data? And so we talk about data a lot, right? We're talking about inspection data, reliability data, maintenance data, all that kind of stuff. The cost series, the first episode we talk about is saying, hey, look, across your entire work process today, where are some key areas you need to be digitizing? What are some tools out in the market today that you can readily use? Some of them free, right? We're talking Microsoft, business intelligence tools, things like that. I mean, this isn't going to cost you more money. It's just leveraging the tools that already exist. So that's really the focus of our first session there. And then from there, we kind of build a foundation of, okay, let's evaluate your work process. Let's kind of break it down into these different functions. And then from there, we can then target specific improvements. And, I can go to those, kind of talk around that, or just wanted to check. Does that make sense before I do that?
No, that makes perfect sense. And I think the general premise is real simple, right? It boils down to when there's disruption, you're typically looking for ways to improve. And I don't think that whenever you're looking and you use the word cost savings, more when everybody's high on the hog, we use that term, everybody's rolling and smooth sailing. It's easy to understand that there's, you go back and you go, oh my God, I can't believe we doubled, we got double booked on this invoice. Oh, well, I never noticed it because all the money was flowing in. Now all of a sudden everybody's double checking invoices. CFOs are running around going, oh my God, I can't believe I wasn't looking at that. So we start to look at those things because there's disruption. So you have two choices. There's the operational mindset of how do I save my business and cut costs, or is it really how do I create efficiencies that I can carry out of this? And I think the objective should be how do I optimize, not cut costs, but how do I optimize? And so talk to me a little bit about some of the optimizing things that you oftentimes see, or the things that you might even say, these are things people were probably missing, and they're low-hanging fruit, but heck, when the things start humming on the other end, they keep this stuff. It's only going to help improve their process going forward. Is there anything that really stands out from an optimization perspective that people can expect from this stuff?
Yeah, that's you bring up a great point, right? It's not so much of a focus on reducing cost. as much as it is understanding where that cost is going, but then also quantifying the value that you're getting from that spend. And so, when we talk about specific things that we can do and what we can focus on, we're talking complex facilities, right? In budgets in the millions, right? And so, an incremental savings of 2 or 3%, right, goes a long way. I mean, we're talking, we can save people's jobs by taking some of these improvement steps. And I think, one of the key things is we developed the cost saving series to focus on short-term things you can do that ultimately are going to get you to the long-term growth strategy as well. And a lot of that has to do with digitizing inspection work processes, digitizing operator rounds, digitizing reliability rounds, things of that nature. And to the point where, we're leveraging, removing that paper product, right? And we're actually leveraging tools, mobile platforms to conduct a lot of those assessments real time. Now, today, you might find it surprising, but I would say probably over 60% of the facilities that we work with are still using pen and paper, right? But we go home and order something off Amazon Prime, and then 2 days it's shipped to our house, right? And so,
right.
and along the way, we know exactly where that piece of product is that we bought, and it's getting shipped by FedEx or UPS. And so we just need to translate that thinking into our facilities, where it's like, look, guys, we have the tools to track these things more appropriately. Let's stop living in the dark ages over here, and let's upgrade. Let's digitize that work process. So that's a big focus. I would say the second focus is really on, like I said, leveraging data to make the right decisions. And so when we talk about data, we're really talking about data that drives asset health, asset maintenance plans, things like that. And so, if you've got a turnaround coming up in the next, I don't know, in this summer or this fall, how well are you prepared to execute on that scope that you have planned? Do you have the right strategies from an equipment standpoint? Do you have the right, spare parts? Do you have the right, inspection program to go in and actually execute that with ease? And all of this digitization, all of these strategies come together. And so, when we look at the cost saving series, there's 9 episodes. A lot of the front end is built on foundational stuff, right? So even if you don't, you're not a large facility, off a 225 and you're a smaller facility, you can take the same approach 1 through 9, apply it to your existing work process today, and you're going to be better off, right, in 6 to 8 weeks if you follow this program. So, whether it's inspection, reliability, all of that stuff, I think it's a good kind of cover of all of that. And if you want more details, obviously go and see our website, www.pinnacleart.com. And look, we've got a banner up there, cost saving series. And obviously, you can reach out to us as well if you want more details.
I think you just, the intent here was to really serve as a mini commercial, right, in a sense, to help put it out. I can tell you, Chad, from the Economic Alliance, along with the organization, is just thrilled about the intent behind what you guys are doing, and the belief system that we can bring great value to both, the stakeholders of the organization, but more importantly, the general populace, right? We're talking about, every business owner operator with the thought process that says, perhaps you need to think differently. Here's if you take a blueprint that you just described and then lay that blueprint on top of a lot of us. I just exited a call today with the organization I'm a part of, and the keynote mentioned specifically, you're looking at the next 6 months at survival, but what you really should be looking at while you're getting under the hood is the next 24 months of trying to thrive. What things do you uncover in your survival audit that you will then propel to your future success? And so I think the ability for our economy to recover and move faster is built on innovation and optimization. And so I'm excited about what you guys are doing. So with that being said, we'll get close to wrapping up today's show. I want to get your general census and what you guys are seeing. You work with these clients. You're hand in hand in the trenches. And so for those that come to our show that are looking for also some insight from industry professionals that are in it, what's the general consensus from economic, what you guys are seeing, what you're breathing, what you're feeling. We know Ryan is the founder of your company, is obviously highly involved in the energy sector. So give us your 30,000-foot flyover of the rest of 2020 for those that are watching this show from Pinnacle's perspective.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, this isn't the first time we've been through this, right? And I just want to take a moment and, obviously recognize, the industry that we are in, the customers that we deal with and partner with, they're some of the best in the world. They are the best in the world. I mean, you look down the ship channel, down 225, you look at the names of the companies there, you look at Houston as a city. I mean, we are an epicenter for world-class engineering and innovation, right? And so if anywhere in the world is going to do it, it's going to be in Houston. It's going to be through companies like Pinnacle, through companies and initiatives that you're driving. And so first off, I think, yes, things are tough right now, but I think, as we look towards the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, right, we know it's coming back, right? That is without a shadow of a doubt. I think the only question we have right now is how quickly it's going to come back, right? And there's obviously many factors that are outside of our control in that, right? Government regulations, international markets, all that stuff. But I think there's a real opportunity here, Jason, Russ, to dig deep and really evaluate everything that we do on a day-to-day basis, right? It's opportunities like this allow us to stop and say, okay, what's not working for me today, right? That sometimes get masked when the day-to-day, and it's not until like the world stops that you actually start to say, hey, I can't do this anymore. I need to pump the brakes. And so what we're seeing our customers is that embodiment of change, right? Like, we go to customers and it's like, oh no, like this is how we do things and we've been doing it. And then now you go to the same customers, it's like, everything's on the table. What do we got to do, right? They're embracing that change. It's that cultural innovation, right? And that goes all the way down to the individual person as well, right? Where you may have one person prior to COVID, prior to this downturn that, hey, this is my job, and they've kind of boxed themselves in. Well, today, that same person's doing 3, 4 different things. Everybody's learning. The amount of people that have gone back to school, right? And learning new skills and things, that's only going to help this industry, right? When we get back on top of things. So I really, I see a lot of positive momentum happening here today and just, the customers that we're working with and the cultural change of things. I think there's definitely also a shift in the industry today to start looking at data and to really start driving value. Like, what does value mean? And so, working with customers and, we got a laundry list, right, of things. Okay, we do this. Okay, what's that doing to your bottom line? What's that doing to the safety of the people at your facility, right? What's that doing to help the community? And we're kind of almost consolidating and really going through those lists and saying, nope. This one is a must. Okay, cool. Let's double down on that. And so when the market returns, we're really going to be, I think, in a much better place than where we were 6 months ago. And, you look at the market when it went down, in 2008, right? Everything came roaring back over the next 10 years, right? You look at, the stock market between 2010 to where we are today. The same thing with the oil and gas market. They try and punch us and knock us down, but man, we come back twice as strong. And, you look at Texas, one of the leading exporters of oil and gas product in the world, right? I mean, we are a global force. And so, we're getting knocked down right now, but I think, I'm seeing a lot of innovation, a lot of commitment to really focus on what's adding value. I'm telling you, that's only going to lead to a bigger and brighter future.
That's exciting. You can see the energy shift and the enthusiasm in your face, talking about
it.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm passionate about it.
That's honestly exciting, man. That's exciting. I'm excited right now just talking to you, man. I'm ready to go. So I believe wholeheartedly in our region. I believe wholeheartedly in innovation. My firm does a lot. We're process people in what I do every day, but we process in a different way to help businesses. And one thing that I've been using as a mantra, which is we are reliant on innovation and we're reliant on the culture of Houston, the business owners, the stakeholders, and the can-do attitude, right? That can-do, we'll find a way attitude that has always propelled us out to the forefront. It's why people continuously try to pour into our state. I don't expect that to change. I do expect that if there will be ways to change, modify, improve, get better, that will happen, and it's going to happen across our region. It's going to happen across the port region. And so while things will, there's a lot of doom and gloom. Doom and gloom for me says that when the clouds settle and everything kind of goes away and the sunshine starts to come up, there's no way that those rays aren't going to be shining down on little Houston, Texas. So I'm very excited about that. So love to see your fire, Lewis. It's great. For our audience, again, thank you. Again, it's Pinnacle ART. You said pinnacleart.com.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep, Pinnacle, that's our website.
Yeah, pinnacleart.com is their website. You can go on there, click the banner, and get more information on how to participate and be a part of their cost-saving series that they're doing. You can also communicate to the Economic Alliance, circle back with the Houston Port Region, find out from us. You can always stay connected to them. Follow the show, YouTube. You can subscribe. You can follow our LinkedIn page as well as Facebook pages for the Gulf Coast Growth Show. We're centered and focused on helping serve and bring valuable content, just like what Pinnacle ART and Lewis and their team are doing to our members and also to those individuals here serving our great city and great state. So stay tuned. We're going to continue to bring great content over the next few weeks. Again, Lewis, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you guys in the next episode.